Welcome to our comprehensive guide on efficient iron ore processing. Today, we'll walk you through the 5 key steps involved in transforming raw iron ore into valuable steel products. We're going to dig deep, get our hands dirty, and really break down each stage of this incredible process. From the moment those massive chunks of ore are pulled from the earth to the gleaming steel structures that shape our world, we'll uncover the engineering ingenuity and industrial artistry behind it all. So, strap in and get ready for a wild ride as we explore the fascinating journey of iron ore from mine to masterpiece. All right. Let's kick things off with a bang. Imagine giant excavators, the kind that could move mountains, hauling massive chunks of raw iron ore. That's where our story begins. These behemoth boulders, sometimes the size of cars, get fed into a series of crushers. We're talking jaws of steel, literally, that can pulverize rock like it's a cracker under a boot. First, we have primary crushing, breaking down those monster rocks into more manageable chunks. Then it's on to secondary crushing, where things get even finer, and we don't stop there. We're talking about reducing this ore to a powder, and that's where grinding comes in. Giant rotating drums filled with steel balls turn this rocky rubble into a fine dust. Think of it like making flour, but instead of wheat, we're talking about the very building blocks of civilization. This powdery product is now ready for the next stage in its transformation. But before we move on, let's take a moment to appreciate the raw power and precision engineering at work here. Crushing and grinding are essential first steps, setting the stage for the amazing transformations to come. Stay tuned because things are about to get really interesting as we delve into the heart of iron ore processing, beneficiation. Welcome back. Now that we've got our iron ore ground down to a fine powder, it's time to separate the valuable iron minerals from the not-so-valuable stuff, also known as gangue. This is where beneficiation comes in, and trust me, it's a game changer. Imagine a giant sorting hat for rocks. That's kind of what's happening here. We're talking about separating the magical iron from the mundane, and we've got some pretty ingenious methods to do it. First up, we've got magnetic separation, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We use powerful magnets to literally pull the iron ore away from the gangue. It's like watching iron filings dance to the tune of a hidden force. Next, we've got flotation, which is where things get really cool. We mix the powdered ore with water and chemicals, creating a bubbly froth. The iron minerals cling to the bubbles and float to the top, while the gangue sinks to the bottom. It's like magic, but with science. Finally, we have gravity separation, where we use the weight difference between iron ore and gangue to our advantage. It's all about shaking and separating, letting gravity do its thing. By the end of beneficiation, we're left with a highly concentrated form of iron ore, ready for the next stage in its epic journey. We've effectively removed the impurities and boosted the iron content, making it prime for further processing. But we're not done yet. Stay tuned as we take this concentrated iron ore and transform it into a form that's ready for the fiery furnace. All right, we've crushed, we've ground, we've separated, and now it's time to get a little bit artsy. Well, maybe not artsy in the traditional sense, but we are going to be shaping this iron ore concentrate into a form that's ready for prime time, or at least prime smelting. Remember that fine powder we talked about? Well, it turns out that just tossing powder into a furnace isn't the most efficient way to make steel. We need to give it some structure, some backbone, and that's where pelletizing and sintering come in. Imagine making meatballs, but instead of meat, we're using iron ore concentrate, and instead of breadcrumbs, we're using binders. These binders act like glue, holding the iron ore particles together in these convenient little pellets. These pellets are then rolled and tumbled in a giant rotating drum, kind of like a clothes dryer on steroids, until they're just the right size and consistency. It's all about creating a uniform product that's perfect for feeding into a blast furnace. Now, sintering is a slightly different beast. It involves mixing the iron ore concentrate with a little bit of water and then spreading it out on a conveyor belt. This mixture then travels through a furnace where it's heated from above, fusing the iron ore particles together into a porous yet solid mass called sinter. Both pelletizing and sintering achieve the same goal, transforming that fine powdery iron ore concentrate into a more manageable and efficient form for the next stage of our journey. the fiery inferno of smelting. All right, get ready for the main event, the heart of the operation, the fiery crucible where iron ore is reborn as steel. We're talking about smelting and refining, a process that's as old as civilization itself, but with some serious modern upgrades. Imagine a towering blast furnace, a fiery inferno that would make a dragon jealous. This is where those iron ore pellets, or sinter we talked about, really earn their keep. We're talking temperatures so intense they can melt rock. Inside this fiery furnace, the iron ore encounters a blast of superheated air and coke, a purified form of coal. This creates a chemical reaction that literally strips the oxygen from the iron ore, leaving behind pure molten iron. It's like alchemy, but with more heat. Now, this molten iron, while impressive, isn't quite ready for prime time. It still contains impurities like carbon, silicon, and manganese. That's where refining comes in. We take this molten iron and pour it into another furnace, this one even hotter than the last. Oxygen is blown into the molten metal, burning off those impurities and transforming it into steel. This molten steel is like liquid gold, glowing with intense heat and potential. It's the very essence of our modern world, ready to be shaped and molded into countless forms. But our journey isn't over yet. We've got to take this molten steel and turn it into something useful, something that can build bridges, skyscrapers, and spaceships. We've come a long way from those massive chunks of raw iron ore, haven't we? We've crushed, ground, separated, pelletized, sintered, smelted, and refined, and now it's time to unleash the magic of steel making. Imagine a river of molten steel glowing with intense heat, flowing into giant molds. This is casting, the process of giving steel its first solid form. Some of this molten steel is cast into massive blocks called ingots, while other portions are continuously cast into slabs, blooms, or billets. It's like watching liquid metal solidify into the building blocks of our world. Next up, we have rolling, where those massive slabs, blooms, and billets are heated up and then squeezed between giant rollers. It's like putting dough through a pasta maker, except on an industrial scale. This process shapes the steel into various forms like plates, sheets, bars, and rods. But we're not done yet. To give steel its final properties like enhanced strength, durability, and corrosion resistance, we turn to post-processing. This can involve heat treatment, where steel is heated and cooled in a controlled manner to alter its microstructure. We can also apply coatings like galvanization, which involves dipping steel in molten zinc to prevent rust. And there you have it. From those humble beginnings as raw iron ore, we've transformed this material into the backbone of our modern world. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the power of engineering. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the essential steps of iron ore processing. We've witnessed the incredible transformation from raw ore to valuable steel products, uncovering the engineering marvels and industrial artistry at each stage. From crushing and grinding to smelting and refining, from casting and rolling to the final touches of post-processing, we've seen how human ingenuity and cutting-edge technology combine to shape the world around us. For more detailed information and equipment recommendations for your specific iron ore processing needs, visit our website or contact our expert team at FTM Machinery. We're here to help you optimize your operations and maximize your output.